That's why so many scientists say it's like a foreign entity is running this and wants to destroy the earth or something. Well, yeah, it's called the devil. You can call me superstitious, whatever. I mean, what else is it? They're not worried about all these real environmental problems they've got us freaking out over carbon dioxide. I mean, what a sickening joke. Okay, I'm ranting. Look at this. Covert war on Iran, prudent strategy. This Ynet News out of Israel. Former Israeli defense official tells New York Times, ambiguous policies are best when it comes to efforts to prevent all-out war with Iran. Tehran says retaliation will reach beyond region. Here's another one. IDF chief of staff affirms Israeli responsibility for Iran covert war assassinations. Fox News. Oh, I told you this 5 years ago. I told you it would build. The war's already on. 3, and now Iran says they're going to respond. That's called war. When Iran lays there and takes it, it's called a turkey shoot. 3 U.S. warships patrol waters near Strait of Hormuz. Pentagon denies movement of aircraft carriers is linked to Iran tensions. Yeah. Well, that's an amazing photo there on the cover of this. It's got like some stealth fighter they're launching off the carrier deck. Wow, that's neat looking. Really neat, though, is the war. I'm being sarcastic. Yeah, scroll down a little bit so you can see that plane. Thanks. And then right here, newspaper calls for killing Israelis in retaliation for nuke scientist assassination. That's Infowars.com, a link to the official Iranian news. And they're saying, the guy appointed by the supreme leader is saying that they need to start targeting Israelis. Jerusalem Post is also reporting on it. So it's on. It is on. I hope we can turn this around, but it's on right now. And it's escalating fast. And it just goes on and on here with these reports. U.S. military moves carriers into the region. That's just some of what we're going to be covering today. 12 infected with new strain of swine flu. Oh, and it's particularly deadly, but don't worry, they're going to have some vaccines for you. And all over the country and all over the world, they've got labs producing super airborne weaponized bird flu, swine flu, and then having trucks drive it around all over the United States to hundreds of labs. Well, actually, when they had that FedEx turnover a few years ago, they said it was going to 5,000 labs plus. It was like 5,400 labs. And they were mailing weaponized airborne bird flu around. Remember that one? It was just the New York Times on Monday. What was their headline? It was Engineering Doomsday. And how this will kill 90+% of those that come in contact with it. And the government's making it. And again, oh, but that's not the threat. It's the carbon dioxide in Iran. I mean, folks, this stuff ever gets out, most of us right now sitting here are dead. You won't get the flu and get sick. You and your family will all be dead. Like as in under the ground, as in no pulse. We'll be right back. Stay with us. This is massive news coming up. There are limitless ways to go into business. Coming up in the next segment, we've got Man on the Street. Do Americans want to attack Iran? Incredible report with Darren McBreen coming up. Not only is he a great reporter, the graphics he comes up with, is what I'm saying, is really incredible. And if you're a radio listener, you can go watch the free video stream at Infowars.com, top right-hand corner. You can only watch 20 minutes of the show at a time there because we haven't set up the bandwidth yet, but soon we're going to have the daytime 3-hour radio show /TV completely free for folks in the lower res quality, the higher res and full archives, and then the nightly news and all the films and all the rest of it are for members at Prisonplanet.tv. Let me just do this, because I'm going to get into some really hardcore news in the next segment, some stuff that's pretty scary, but we've got to admit what's happening so that we can do something about it to stop it. So in the gloom and doom is the solution. In admitting reality and explaining that the direction we're going in is the wrong direction is the only hope we have to turn things around. We also have more media clips from the establishment press, the dinosaur press, telling us Ron Paul still can't win and didn't really get second place in New Hampshire, and really treating their viewers like sheep. Very condescending. Hey, guys, that's why every month you lose more viewers. And we gain viewers and readers and listeners, and the Drudge Report does, and every other alternative media system grows while you shrink. Go look at the numbers. You're fully aware of them. So just continue doing what you're doing. And no amount of SOPA Act is going to put the genie back in the bottle. You think you're going to team up with the government to shut down your competition, the truth, against your lies? Sorry, the truth sells 1,000 to 1 to lies, okay? So I'll keep selling the truth. I don't need teleprompters. I don't need to think about what I said yesterday to match it up today because I'm telling the truth. Do I make mistakes occasionally? You bet. And we correct them when we do. But we're trying to tell the truth. We're trying to be as accurate as we can. We're seeking after reality. You are seeking after lies and disassembling and manipulation and gatekeeping and telling everybody what to do and being control freaks. And you belong to the dustbin of history. Let me get some positive news right now, though. This is out of the Wall Street Journal, and I want to do a report on this tonight or tomorrow night in detail in the nightly news, just looking at the Hubble photos and other systems. An otherworldly discovery, just to give you an idea of how big the universe is. Because we can basically only see down the block. We don't even know what comes after that. And now with these radio telescopes and other systems, they've discovered billions of other planets, and many of them, off of the scans they're getting, appear to be Earth-like, covered with water. We know that some of the moons of Saturn have ice covering them and have water under them, and there's volcanic activity, which means there's hot water. That's just so amazing. Astronomers said Wednesday that each of the 100 billion stars in the Milky Way, that's just our galaxy, and there's hundreds of billions of galaxies photographed. Astronomers said Wednesday that each of the 100 billion stars in the Milky Way probably has at least one companion planet, on average, adding credence to the notion that planets are as common in the cosmos as grains of sand on the beach. The finding underscores a fundamental shift in scientific understanding of planetary systems in the cosmos. Our own solar system, considered unique not so long ago, turns out to be just one among billions. Yeah, there's hundreds of billions. Until April 94, there was no other known solar system, but the discoveries have slowly mounted since then. The Kepler Space Telescope, designed for planet hunting, now finds them routinely. Planets are the rule rather than the exception, said the lead astronomer, Arnaud Casson, at the Institute of Astrophysics in Paris. Let's try to get him on. I want scientists. I want to look at the beauty of the universe and the magic and the depth of it. Well, really, it's unending. I want to talk more about the amazing beauty all around us while we cover what the globalists are doing to contrast the establishment system that's trying to keep us tied down with Britney Spears and all this cultural death and ugliness. I mean, it's such a con game. It's a joke. Because for me, when I think about the limitlessness of time and the depths of the universe and the depths of beauty and goodness and creativity and the depths of honor and decency and humanity and all the good deeds that outweigh the bad, it just makes me marvel and have no fear of death. We're just part of something so huge. And here's another report out of AFP. World's tiniest frogs found in Papua New Guinea. They find hundreds of new species every week. Wow, we're going to talk some more about this later. And I'll get into the really dark stuff on the other side. Across the board, we're going to be breaking it down, including new developments in North Korea.
We're on the march. The Empire.
Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. We're here, back Sundays 4 to 6 as well. Blasting out on the AM and FM dial, also on XM, channel 166, and #1 on the podcast and audio streams on the web for radio, Infowars.com, and, of course, simulcasting the video at Prisonplanet.tv. We also go out on WWCR, 100,000-watt global shortwave service to the world. And I get letters from missionaries in Central Africa and people in the Himalayas. It's just wild what the shortwave does as well. People listening in villages and on ships at sea. And I've gotten calls from weather stations in Antarctica and in the Arctic from the northern ice cap to the southern ice cap and beyond. It's wild. It's wild to realize we talk every week in the aggregate with all different forms and transmissions to 15 million souls. What a responsibility. And I do not claim that I am up to the challenge, but I'm here, I'm on the field, and I'm doing the best I can. And I thank you all for your prayers. When you consciously realize you're standing in front of millions of people and that the world is in such dire straits and that we have so much potential to turn it around, it is mind-blowing. Okay, let me just get into Iran now, then I'll get into the other news and then open the phones up. Then we have Mike Adams coming on, and also Luke Rudowski confronted Newt Gingrich in one of the most powerful little confrontations. He brought up Bohemian Grove, and Gingrich just said, you're basically insane, it doesn't exist. Newt Gingrich is in 2 of the annals of Bohemian Grove that we got from widows of Bohemian Grove members. And he's been one of the key speakers there, and we have all the proof of that. In the video that Luke Rudowski and We Are Change put out that's up at Infowars.com right now. And it's just very interesting to see Nudie playing a little game, doing his little devil smile, and saying, you're insane, doesn't exist. Thinking that people watching are ignorant. Everything they do counts on you not having open eyes. Everything why do the globalists have the owl as their symbol? Sure, in Greek mythology it means wisdom, and it means that as well. But for them, the owl sees in the dark. You don't. You're a little mouse down there that doesn't see well in the dark, and they can fly down and grab you with their talons. Well, I'm not a mouse, okay? And so you try to swoop down on me. I could see at night. I could see during the day. I could see at high noon. There's the video by Kurt Nemo's got an article out on it. Newt tells a lie about his attendance at Bohemian Grove. And there's the scan from the annal sent to me by a widow of a industrial tycoon. I'll just leave it at that. Other stuff she told me was private. I was talking to a Houston lady who separately had contacted Tex Mars and told him the same story. And she was talking about her husband, who was since dead, and he had little owls all over the house, and he basically worshipped them, but he would never tell her what it was all about. And so that's the thing. You can watch the footage from Bohemian Grove, and you can think that, oh, well, they're just a play. Well, where do you think plays came from? They're up on the stage. It's religious. It's done all stylistically. You're out in the church, whether it's pagan, Christian, whatever. You're out there as a practitioner. You're out there as a parishioner watching the priest class, the anointed ones, up on the stage. And I was there, and to test it with Mike Hansen when we snuck in 2000, I'm like, well, that's pretty neat. And they're like, just like, shut up. And these old men were just like going, and really getting off on it. And I was, but they didn't get off half as much as what happened when they bring the body of the child, the effigy, they say, on this flatback wagon drawn by Clydesdale horses, big black Clydesdales. And they bring it over behind these black sheets I'd seen up during the day on the other side of the pond. Down here at the front's the idol. Over on the other side is that. And whatever went on behind that, I mean, it was smacking, grinding of teeth, super ultra creepy.